Waiting. Red line. Oh, boom. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. You look kind of spooky. Your front light just went out, but we're making it work tonight. Looks pretty cool.
I have a campfire vibe here because I'm having a lighting issue is what I'm having.
We made it work. It's almost Blair Witch-esque. Okay. Whenever you're ready, sir. Let's do this.
I'm all set.
Okay. Welcome to Just Curious Media. This is Let's Talk Cobra Kai. I'm Jason Connell.
And I'm Sal Rodriguez.
All right, Sal. We are back for another episode.
Yeah, and very excited that we have a higher rating on this episode. Higher than last time. Because last rating was a little disappointing.
It was weak. Not the episode, the rating.
Yes.
But this episode was pretty strong, I gotta say. Usually these midpoints, this is episode 5 of season 5, Extreme Measures. But before we get into it, Sal, I want to give a shout out. Last episode, you'll recall, it was kind of a call to action for our fans to leave some 5-star reviews on Apple Podcast, and they have spoken. And we have 7 new 5-star reviews, and I thank you so very much. I'd rattle off the names, go through them, but we're going to save that for our next fan appreciation episode.
Wow, yes.
Post-season of season 5 of Cobra Kai. And I want to say one of the 7, though, which is really touching to me, was the person that left the 1 star. So kudos for coming back around. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
Honoring that, understanding, and whatever. Bygones be bygones, and we're sorry for the lapse, and I understand their point, but hurting the show is no one wants to do that. And I just commend everybody for stepping up. And the more we get, just the better it helps the show stand out in the blue ocean, the sea of podcasts. So thank you.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised. I mean, I guess I'm a little jaded in life that when you ask for something and people actually do it and then do it as a group,
awesome.
Wow. It's very touching. So thank you, everybody who was able to do that recently. 5-star review for us. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And also good news. This is good news. As you know, Doggone launched last Friday. So it is live, and I'm just happy that it's out there. It's very touching to my heart. The first episode is out there, talks about myself and Nico. It's more about Nico. It's just my story of him, my dog, who I lost this year. And it's going to be the episode that I can use to bring other guests on. So it's out there now live. You guys can go check it out on any platform, Doggone, or just go to justcuriousmedia.com, and it's on there with all the other podcasts and episodes. So, and you're on there, Sal. So kudos to you for joining me. And that one is now out in the podcast universe.
Thank you for having me, Jason. And a very special, I mean, not that all of our shows aren't special, but I mean, this one's is different. It's different in spirit and nature from Just Curious Media's other shows.
It is. I noticed that when we prepared for it, when we recorded it, and when I edited the episode, I was like, whoa, this is a whole other thing. And it was very emotional for me to edit that episode.
Wow.
So it's out there, and it was just a big hurdle, if you will. It took a lot, but I'm very, very proud. So just wanted to share that with our fans.
Well, I'm very excited about it, and very excited to hear upcoming episodes, because you got your work cut out for you, Jason. This is a very, I would say, almost like you have to handle it with kid gloves in a way, because it's a very sensitive topic. Yeah. So believe me, I look forward to seeing and hearing what Doggone has to offer.
Thank you. Yes, we have to flex different muscles being a podcaster, and that definitely makes me do that. So let's jump in from a word from our sponsor. Support for Let's Talk Cobra Kai is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming and offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, and with this exclusive offer, you'll get
20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Cobra Kai at manscaped.com.
Perfect. And with the holidays coming up, it might be time to cash in on this code.
Yeah. And you know what? There's all kinds of Manscaped ads all over the place,
All over.
everywhere. I mean,
every podcast has one, but
well,
use ours.
And Facebook. I'm on Facebook all the time,
yeah,
and there's
true.
all kinds of commercials on there. I think that what's his name? Who's the guy that dated the Kardashians?
Which
Right?
one?
From which Kardashian and which guy?
Yeah.
From SNL, the SNL guy.
Oh, Pete.
Dated
Davidson?
Pete Davidson is doing Manscaped commercials now.
Well,
so
there you go.
very fun to see, and you know, kind of honored to be among.
We're in good company.
Yeah. We're up there, man. We're up there.
So Netflix brings us Cobra Kai. Thank you, Netflix. Every episode in the season came out on September 9th, 2022. This is season 5, episode 5, Extreme Measures. Sounds like a movie in the 90s, like a Seagal movie.
Yeah. Or a Jeff Speakman.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Was he the Perfect Weapon? Is that who that was?
He was the Perfect Weapon, and I was an extra in Perfect Weapon.
Oh, there you go. And the rating for this particular episode, like you hinted at, 8.7 on IMDb.
Nice. Yes, thank you.
Well deserved. Kind of deserves a 9s, but listen, that's a whole other thing. The synopsis for this episode is Daniel leans on a friend and frenemy. Tensions come to a head for Miguel and Robby. A familiar face returns. Ooh, I can't wait to get into it, Sal.
These synopsi are almost like a fortune cookie, right? It's like
totally.
they just give you just enough, but not much.
Just a little bit. So I am ready to jump into the scene by scene breakdown if you're ready.
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
Okay. You don't need a moment.
I need a spooky moment.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, there was a dojo named Miyagi-Do and a competitive dojo named Cobra Kai.
There you go. I like it. So we open at Cobra Kai, and Tori is possessed, and she is hitting on one of these modern padded dummy, not the wooden dummy back in the day. And she's hitting it hard, Sal. But then out of nowhere, a favorite character arrives.
Yeah. In walks Stingray in the middle of the class.
Unreal.
Some people are taken aback and kind of looking over at him, right?
Yeah.
I think I would imagine there were plenty of people in that class who didn't know who he is. Right?
Well, there's so many new people.
Yeah, all kinds of new faces in there. Yeah. So then he walks in. Silver announces him. There he is, the man himself, an exemplar of everything Cobra Kai stands for: loyalty, discipline, inner strength. After former Senseikreese's cowardly attack, most people would have crawled into a hole to hide. Not Stingray. He stood tall, demanded justice. That's Cobra Kai. So let's give him the welcome he deserves. Applause.
Woo! Yeah, Stingray is back, and he looks like a shell of his former self, I have to say. You know,
he's been demoralized.
Demoralized. Right? He loved something. He was beaten. Now he's on the hook with Silver, and he's still dealing with that. I can't even imagine what that was like, being in a coma or whatever he was in for a while. And but all that said, happy to see him back.
Yeah.
Love Stingray.
Yeah. He's fantastic.
So Silver and Stingray talk, and Silver, we learn, got him an apartment.
Yeah, a nice place.
And what else did he get him?
He got him the Cobra Kai car that Johnny Lawrence used to drive, the 2009 Dodge Challenger.
The Back in Black. Back in Black. Remember that
yes,
episode?
Yes, the yellow and black.
Paint. Oh my.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when they were painting it. That's right. Yeah, beautiful car, very fun. Any fan would love to drive this car.
Yeah. So we know Silver is funding Stingray's lifestyle now, because Stingray was living with his sister at one point in time.
Right, yeah.
After he took the beating, now comes the rewards for taking said beating and putting Kreese away.
Well, what do you call it? You call it hush money, right?
Hush money.
Hush money. I'm going to take care of you. You just shut your mouth, right? Don't let the law in on this.
Yeah. Plus you took a beating. So there's that.
Well, you know, like we mentioned going into this, I mean, Silver literally almost killed.
Almost.
Because Stingray was in a coma, the implication is he almost died. Silver almost killed Stingray. Terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're at Olive Garden in Chatsworth.
Nice. I like how the ralphmacchio name appears right at that very moment.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's like a combo Italiano moment.
And Miguel and Robby arrive separately, I should say, separately. And they're tricked by Johnny. Like, oh, you're here. You know, Johnny's trying to force this friendship, or at least peace. And Sal, no one's happy. But the waiter is fantastic.
Yeah, he does a great
I gotta say, he's killing it.
Yeah, he does a great job. I would have loved to have auditioned for that waiter
you
role.
could have been this waiter.
I think I could have done
killed
that,
it. And I like that, you know, he's rattling off things because, you know, he's not missing a beat. He's reading the room, though. And like, let me give you a second. But he mentions chocolate lasagna. Now, I guess I have not been to an Olive Garden in about 15 years. So I didn't know they had chocolate lasagna. Are you familiar with this?
I myself haven't been to an Olive Garden in about 20, 25 years. Because let me tell you this, Jason.
Maybe it was 20 for me, too.
We used to go to Olive Garden as sort of an anticipation of an upcoming marathon. When I used to run marathons in my 20s, we would do a carbo load at Olive Garden the night before a marathon.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah. So we're going back a few years.
You don't run marathons anymore.
Well, I would like to. And I'd like to eat at Olive Garden again. I would like to eat at Olive Garden. I would like to run a marathon just to eat at Olive Garden.
There you go. That's the reason. Yeah, that's the catalyst. Well, despite the great waiter and Johnny's efforts, Miguel and Robby leave. They don't even stick around for any of it. They're not even having it at all. So
they don't care about the breadsticks.
Fail for John.
I would have at least had a few breadsticks before I left.
Pretty damn good breadsticks. I do recall. I had a sister who worked at Olive Garden, but we're going back a long ways. So now we're at LaRusso's house, and Daniel is unshaven, which we saw in the first look photos because you commented on that. Like, when do you ever see Daniel unshaven?
Yes.
He's unshaven. He's drinking. He's just distraught, Sal.
Jason, I don't know if you've ever stumbled upon a married man whose wife is out of town for whatever reason.
Right.
And you get to see how I swear to you, men alone are different than men around women.
Yeah, married men for X amount of time are different. You're right. Because couples just get closer and closer and closer. And then it's like, and she's not just out of town on a business trip. She's mad at him. And that's like game changer.
They're almost unofficially separated. Unofficially.
You know,
right. She took the kids and left. I mean, what is that?
She's just taking a beat. But Chosen remains positive about Amanda and the family. And thank goodness Chosen's here. But while he's trying to cheer Daniel up, he discovers what?
There's a newspaper clipping that has a courtroom sketch of Kreese, and then a courtroom sketch of Stingray.
Yeah.
But then somebody had written liar, and then stuck it in their mailbox?
Stuck it in their mailbox. So it says, local sensei found guilty, and it's written by Nikki Blasi, B-L-A-S-I. 2 years prison sentence. We learned 2 years for this. Raymond Porter, Stingray's last name. Now we know the whole name. Judge Harold T. Stone. So I kind of zoomed into the article, and it was a real article, not like the Karate Kid Part 3 where they just kind of phoned it in. They borrowed an article. Cobra Kai gets it right. So that was the judge's name. It says liar, and then there's an address. Sal, do you want to say the address?
Sure. The address is 808 Prospect Street. Now, Jason, it doesn't specify Hermosa Beach, but you declare Hermosa Beach?
I looked it up, and the only thing that came up in Los Angeles area was Hermosa Beach, California, 90254. So I don't think that's where they meant. Maybe they did mean that, but the place that shows up on Google Maps is not Raymond's house because they probably shot it in Atlanta. But for whatever reason, that's what pops up when you type that in.
Well, Jason, I'll have you know my eldest brother, the oldest siblings of all my siblings,
the firefighter,
the firefighter, newly retired.
Oh wow!
Lives in Hermosa Beach, so lives near this address.
He's got the tats.
He does, plenty of tats.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for your service, older Rodriguez. So yeah, that's where they're setting this. We don't know, but we know that Silver's flipping the bill. That we do know.
Yeah.
So now we're in a Ramden neighborhood, Sal. No palm trees. Of course, it could still be cheated for California being in Georgia. But we soon learn we're at Amanda's parents' house. And Sal, we meet Amanda's mother, Joanne, played by
Rochelle Carson, who is Rochelle Carson Begley,
which
Ed Begley's
immediately,
wife.
There you go. I see that. And I'm like, hang on a second. Ed Begley Jr.'s wife, the actor in so many movies, whom I've met twice and talked to in
Wait
LA.
a second. He's been to your film festival.
No, he has not been to my film.
I thought he was there.
But we were at another film festival for my first film, Strictly Background. Terry Polo. No, Polo is the other actress from Meet the Fockers. Terry Bolo is in my documentary, and she has great stories. She used to be in the Groundlings, and you've met Terry, you know her well. She used to date Bill Murray. She also went on dates with Robin Williams. She introduced them together. They didn't know each other. She's got some stories, man, because she grew up in Hollywood and doing the whole thing, and she was an actress in lots of movies, and she looks super young, so they kept casting her. So anyway, we went to this festival, San Fernando Valley. Strictly Background's first festival. We won Best Documentary, but they had this huge banquet, and she's like, "Oh, you want to meet, Fred Willard? You want to meet Ed Begley Jr.?" And she's just bringing these guys over. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she knows everybody." Met him there, and then I met him on a set. Oh, actually, I'd met him very briefly, but we didn't talk the first time on a movie set that I got access to film my extras on from Strictly Background, and he was in that movie. And then so I had that to reflect on. So actually, I think I met him 3 times or talked to him 2 of the 3 times, but great guy. And this is his wife. So,
nice.
6 degrees at play here of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. But I mean, what are the odds? Because we never met Amanda's parents before.
Never. We've just heard like, the kids are going to my parents' house, and they're still, we don't meet the father, but we have Amanda's mother.
If you're you might as well have had Ed Begley Jr. as Amanda's dad. Then why not?
That could still happen, right?
Nice.
That could still happen. That would have been great.
Yeah.
But then, Sal, if that wasn't enough, a blast from the past, because who arrives? And I didn't see this coming, Sal.
I did not see this coming. I think most of us forecasted Mike Barnes.
Nailed it.
You can go back, and some people might have even forecasted Chosen, maybe. I don't think anybody, okay, well, maybe. Nobody forecasted Jessica Andrews, played by Robyn Lively from Karate Kid 3, is Amanda's cousin.
Real. What? Who is also in real life Blake Lively's stepsister, and Blake Lively, of course, is married to Ryan Reynolds. So it's like actor, entertainment royalty.
Wow! And hang on, Ryan Reynolds, who now owns Mint Mobile. So they're
in commercials together.
Yes. There's a recent commercial with Ryan Reynolds and Robyn Lively for Mint Mobile. It's crazy.
It's nuts. Well, here she is. Cousin Jessica arrives. So this is her Aunt Joanne. And it's like, oh my God, it's all in the family. And she arrives, Sal, with mac and cheese. And she's like, hey, where's Daniel? Because Daniel, let's not forget, gives mac and cheese 11 out of 10 stars from the Karate Kid Part 3. He loves some mac and cheese.
He does. And he doesn't even need some sliced up wieners. I like sliced up wieners in my mac and cheese. Daniel doesn't even need that. And by the way, I just want to be clear, because sometimes I can be forgetful. Nobody ever thought for a second that Jessica Andrews is Amanda LaRusso's cousin, right? We didn't know this before.
I'm loving the liberties. I'm loving the liberties that the writing room is taking, because that's a smart play. Like, she's going to go to her mother's. Yeah, she could go somewhere nearby, Pasadena, or, Alhambra, well, anywhere. She could have gone somewhere, or Westlake Village, or, Calabasas, but no, they take her to Ohio, which we learn in a later scene. But think back to the Karate Kid Part 3. That's where Jessica was going. I got to go back to Ohio. I got a boyfriend there, because that movie just kind of falls on itself sometimes, but falls in on itself. But yeah, brilliant opportunity to connect the dots and bring her back. But we do leave this scene, but I'm just in awe. Like, are you kidding me? Is that her? It took me a second to even process it.
Wait, it's taken me another second to process this, Jason, and that is that my father lives in Ohio.
Oh my God.
It just occurred to me. It just occurred to me this very moment.
wait, your father could be Amanda's father.
Wow.
Whoa.
What if Amanda and I are brother and sister?
Yeah, I'm loving this. So now we're at Johnny's apartment. And Sal, he's been interneting, which I'm liking that, internet.
I like it.
And he's looking for a way for Robby and Miguel to bond because Olive Garden struck out. And Sal, this is hilarious what he has done to his place. And please describe.
He's made his apartment, which by the way was recently made nice.
That's right.
Right? He recently made his apartment nice. Yeah. Now he's made it into an escape room. And by the way, I don't know if you have any experience with escape rooms. I know about them, never been to one, because what I've read about them, they sound horrific. I mean, you're literally locked into these places. Sometimes they like yell in your face and put you in a box, like horrible stuff.
That's people, where you draw the line.
I don't
a box.
No. I will not pay for this. I will not pay for this. So Johnny made his place an escape room. He wanted to replicate the Lincoln County War, 1878 in Lincoln County, New Mexico territory, which turns out to be the plot for Young Guns 2, right?
Yeah. And Miguel recognizes it and he's like, we saw this together. So he's been, showing Miguel these older movies. And yeah, I saw this movie in the theater with my dad, actually. But funny.
Well, you've seen both Young Guns 1 and 2?
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry, Jason. I haven't seen either.
But you need to, and we may cover it on Let's Talk Movies, actually. Okay. Drag you in. Okay. But while this is going on, I need a little bit of karaoke from you. We hear Bon Jovi's Blaze of Glory, which is also in Young Guns 2.
The only part I know is I'm going down in a blaze of glory. That's all I got.
That's all you needed. I like it. So hilarious. And then this scene ends with Rosa coming in as Billy the Kid.
That I loved. She's such a good sport.
Yeah.
And probably smoked out a little bit, and then she comes put on her outfit.
But I like that Johnny, part of the escape room is he switched his door lock. So if you come inside the house and close the door, you can't get out. No. Like he's locked this place down, and the only key to get out of here, he puts in the garbage disposal, of course. So they're stuck in here. Of course, I think he breaks a window later. But anyway, great scene. But these guys are having none of it, Sal. They're just like, this guy. They're over him,
Yeah, well, not to mention they don't know about. I don't know if you'd call it an ace in the hole on Johnny's part, but neither Miguel nor Robby know about the bun in the oven.
They do not know yet.
Yeah.
So now we're at Hermosa Beach, and Daniel and Chosen are on another stakeout. They do a lot of these stakeouts, right? But they're waiting for someone to show up, and we know who that is because we just talked about it. But Daniel's very depressed still. He's brought that just whole demeanor on this stakeout, and Chosen's trying to cheer him up a little bit, getting back to usual Daniel. And Chosen has some nice words to say. Very Mr. Miyagi-esque.
That's what I was just gonna say. It just occurred to me. No, don't step on my line, Jason. It just occurred to me this very moment right before you mentioned that. Is Chosen kind of almost adopting the Miyagi role in a way here?
Channeling it a little bit. It's bringing Okinawa to the show. Wow. And I'm loving it, man. Loving it.
I love the wisdom. So Chosen says, heart is most essential quality. Amanda-san knows your heart.
It's the first time she's been referred to as Amanda-san. And I like that.
I like it.
That's really cute. And then Sal, who arrives in the Cobra Kai mobile.
Well, just to be clear, if I'm not mistaken, that car originated from LaRusso Auto, right? Didn't it?
Sure did. But it was a gift. It wasn't stolen.
Yes. So yeah, here's Stingray showing up in the black and yellow Cobra Kai car. By the way, they need to make a Hot Wheels of this. I want a Hot Wheels of this car.
And it's kind of funny because he's also channeling Johnny playing the rock music. He rolls up playing Fozzy by Judas, which I didn't know the song, but it's a heavy headbanging song. Like heavy metal.
Judas Priest?
No, just by Judas.
Oh, I don't know Judas. Who's Judas?
So I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, that's what he's singing. And he's singing it. It's like almost like the movie Christine. Once you own this car, you have to take on that persona. Nice. And it's like he's got that persona. He's the perfect guy to take over the car from Johnny. And now Stingray, still singing the song, goes into his apartment. And now we see the apartment. Right? It's sleek, modern. It's got all the bells and whistles. A big, oversized Cobra rug. Love it.
Wow.
Beautiful. And Sal, I also love that. Well, because they come up, obviously. Daniel and Chosen come in, they knock, and there's this exchange. And, Daniel's questioning, Stingray about, how you live in this lifestyle now? What's going on here? And he's like, oh yeah, TurboTax. My finances are between me and TurboTax, which I really got a kick out of that line. Right. And I immediately thought back to when Kreese was doing the Koala Kai commercials
Sure.
for Intuit QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Intuit also owns TurboTax. So a nice
Wait a
little
second.
tie in there.
Intuit owns TurboTax also.
Both.
So it's in the family. Okay, cool. I didn't
In
know
the
that.
family.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
A
Very,
great
very nice. And
exchange
by the
here.
way, who else caught that reference? I don't think
Oh,
I would have even caught that reference because I didn't know that Intuit owned TurboTax.
there you go.
Right. Wait. When martinkove did the Koala Kai,
Yeah.
that was for just Intuit tax? QuickBooks, which I always thought is a competitor to TurboTax, but now they're in the family. Got it.
They may have been at one point in time. I'd have to check that, but I
see.
know Intuit owns both.
Okay,
So.
nice. Very nice.
And then Stingray and Daniel, they're not themselves. Like I said earlier, Stingray is just not Raymond, the guy doing the Caddyshack gopher and making funny jokes and like, hey man, you get this reference? Kind of like Chris Farley used to be on SNL, like get all excited, but he's not that guy. He's recovering, and Daniel's not himself. And this leads to Daniel just getting a little heated, short-tempered Daniel pushes Stingray. And what does he fall on and break?
Are we led to believe Daniel's a little bit inebriated here, at least at the tail end?
I think so. I think
right, because didn't Chosen try to give him some coffee, right?
Yep.
But it's entirely possible this is an inebriated Daniel doing this.
Yeah.
And he breaks the PlayStation.
Yep.
And Chosen says, he's also no Stingray. He is turtle. If pressed, he will retreat further into shell. Yeah, because Daniel's thinking that he's gonna like get the info out of him.
Yeah, give it to me. He's like a stool pigeon. He'll tell you what you need to know, but he's not gonna tell you anything really. He just get out of here. So yeah, this is when they go in the hallway, they retreat, and thank God Chosen's there again to bring reason to Daniel. This is not going good, and good wisdom by Chosen. He's just consistently this. Kind of a great anchor for Daniel and the show. He's really, and so is Johnny, though. There's a stabling force happening while we see Amanda and Daniel go off the rails a little bit, right?
Daniel needs what? Counsel right now, right? He needs friendship right now.
Yeah.
He needs that. Yeah. Where would he be right now if not for Chosen?
And he's not wrong about his assessment of Silver, although it looks like he is wrong based at the charity auction that happened and what his wife is perceiving. He's not wrong, but he's just losing his wits about him and losing his magic. The LaRusso magic is suffering here.
You can lose grasp on reality. Like I was at one point, they're doing lots of commercial development in my area.
You're ready to throw down.
I was going to go drive to the developer's office to throw down in the street. What is that? And it took a woman to say, Sal.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Yes.
Yeah. It happens to the best of us, Sal. It happens to the best of us. So now we're in Ohio. We established this because and I call it a bar, but I'm going to call it a barcade. There's a lot of barcades now around where there's retro video games. So youngsters can be there, but there's also a bar and food. So they're at this, it looks like just off the campus, because there's Ohio everywhere, Cleveland Browns and, the Indians, and they used to be called the Indians, sorry, the Guardians and also the Cavaliers. So we are definitely in Ohio. And I've actually been through Ohio, and I've gone to the big house where Ohio Buckeyes play football. Not in, but I saw the stadium. It's a pretty famous stadium. But here we are, Jessica, Amanda, Sam, and Anthony. And they've got the vintage tabletop games, and one in particular, Galaga.
I
Sal,
love Galaga.
I love me some Galaga too, man.
I do. Can you hang on, Jason? Can you flip Galaga? Can you get to 1 million?
1 million?
When you get to 1 million on Galaga, the game starts over.
You get to 1 million?
Yep. Now,
no.
by the way, just to be clear
Oh,
to our
please.
listeners,
Yeah.
I can get to 1 million, or should I say I have gotten to 1 million, which flips the game and resets it. You start over again.
Yeah.
On a regular standing Galaga. The tabletop, I was
different.
never good at the tabletop.
Let's go head to head on the tabletop.
Okay, no, I can't
Let's
do it.
do that. So, Jessica is playing it up, showing the kids like, hey, these are vintage games. And they're like, oh yeah, people are doing this now. It's like, no, this is the real game. This is not vintage. This is still here. And your mother had the high score back in the day, which is great to learn these little things about Amanda. Now we're knowing her backstory now. I love it. And then Sal, if that wasn't enough to go out and hang out with her cousin and show the old stomping grounds, high school girlfriends are there. And it's like Mean Girls, Sal. This is like straight out of that movie. And we learn Amanda's maiden name.
Yeah, Steiner.
Steiner.
Very interesting. Yeah, I love it.
interesting.
I love where we're at right now.
I do too. I just want to
I
hang out
really
here.
do. I like it.
Steiner. And later we learn her nickname from a well-documented violent outburst, but we'll save that for now.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah,
Let's do that.
I'm very excited to see what happens.
So Steiner, is that what they have? Like a beer Steiner? Is that?
Well, I think it's German, right? Because from Bierstein.
Yeah,
Bierstein, I guess
yeah.
it's a German name. Sure, Steiner.
She loves
be Steiner.
Oktoberfest. That Amanda Steiner. So now we're back at Johnny's apartment, and Daniel arrives, and Sal, he is unhinged. So he leaves Stingrays, and his plan is like, I got a guy that can help get this thing in motion. I'll go see Johnny. But he's not seeing Johnny from like last season or a few episodes ago. This is a more level-headed Johnny, more than we've ever seen, I would say.
Yeah. A baby on the way would change just about any person. Any level-headed person would be like, holy cow, a baby's on the way. Let me get my shit together, right? That's what an average person would think.
He's got Robby in his life now and Miguel simultaneously and a new love in his life. So this is like uncharted territory for Johnny, I would say.
Yeah, he's trying to do it right this time.
So Daniel wants his help, and it quickly realizes this is not the same Johnny. And Johnny can see, like, this is not the usual Daniel. And he really just asked him, like, what's going on? And Daniel just needed that, like you said earlier. He needs a friend. Chosen's great, but Chosen's kind of following his lead, and they're trying to go, fix things with Silver in the Valley. But Johnny's a friend. He's a peer. And Daniel shares. And it's a touching scene because he's talking about, go on.
Well, I like that we get to see Daniel. I think we've had moments where Johnny kind of displayed his vulnerability to Daniel, but I don't know if we've seen Daniel be vulnerable with Johnny before. I don't know if
not to this level. I mean, when they saw Allie a little bit, this is a whole new level of that we've never seen.
Yeah. So Daniel shares about Amanda and the kids leaving.
Very humbling to share that.
Yeah.
Basically
your wife and kids left you is what you're saying.
Yeah. And he's having a banquet. Of course, Johnny's got a Coors banquet in the fridge.
What's funny is I think in this instance, a Coors banquet sobers you up.
Exactly. Like he's on the hard stuff. This is getting him out of it. Absolutely. So now we're back at the barcade, and Anthony plays Galaga. Love this. And he's frustrated, Sal, because he's also not very good at the tabletop version. And he goes on to say, which is hilarious.
Anthony says, damn it, the space lobsters have tractor beams. This game is bullshit. Anthony, you get in the tractor beams to get a double ship. And that's when you kick ass. You need a double ship. And by the way, if nobody ever trained Anthony on Galaga, he wouldn't know that. He would not know that if he's never played this before.
But you don't want to get in the tractor beams if you have your last man.
Oh, no, do not.
Game over. So I've learned that having that double ship, it just takes up too much real estate. So unless it's like a bonus round where you can really just go to town, I don't like having that extra ship.
Hang on, Jason. You're telling me that you can get a perfect on the challenge stage?
No, you perfect. Can't.
You need those double ships for the challenge.
But the double ship's only going to last so long because once you get to the next phase, you're going to lose them. So I tend to save my men. But hey, we have different strategies.
You don't do double ship on Galaga?
I used to. I've changed, but I'm not getting a million. So maybe I need to adopt your style. So then we see Sam because she's sitting there on the. I love the tabletop because just the way, it just lets you kind of sit at a table and she's on her phone and she spots Anthony getting bullied. And Sal, this Instagram post already has 44.6 thousand views. So it's gone valley viral, as she says. And it's posted by hyper_piper 42. And does that ring a bell at all?
Well, Piper does, but Hyper Piper 42?
Well, that's her. This is Piper, who we've not seen this season. Remember Moon's ex-girlfriend, then in season 4 got into Cobra Kai. She fought in All Valley, but we've not even talked about Piper.
I
She's
have
doing
not
Instagram
heard.
post.
I have not heard that name in a while.
I have not heard that name in a while. No, we've
Wow.
not even thought about her.
Crazy.
Talked about her, but this was her. So call back. She's pulling an Aisha. The show, for whatever reason, hasn't brought her back yet, but hopefully this is a way to bring her back in the fold. Anyway.
Wait, hang on, Jason. What's Dimitri's girlfriend's name? Or at least they were
Yasmin?
dating? Yasmin. There
Yeah.
we go. That's
Not
where I got
Piper.
confused.
Piper was like the best athlete at the school.
Yeah.
Remember?
Okay,
So I'm,
now I remember.
we haven't talked about
Now I
it, but we
remember,
haven't,
yeah.
haven't
Okay.
seen everybody either.
I got it now. And by the way, we didn't know that Anthony being kicked into the lazy river. We didn't know that was on video, right?
No, this is new. This is
Oh
new.
boy.
Well, I'm also shocked that Sam can even spot him. He's got the rings on him already. She's like, "Is
Yeah.
this you?" I was.
I
Right
would have
there.
denied it. I'll be like, nope, not me.
No,
not
that's some
me.
other guy. I saw him. But now we're at the bar. I mean, literally, we just cut over because Amanda and Jessica are talking, and this is good stuff, Sal. Oh my gosh. Amanda mentions Daniel's enemies, how there's always another one around the corner. It's like a twisted game of whack-a-mole. Now, Sal, I know you remember the game whack-a-mole. Right?
I like a good whack-a-mole game. I do. I like it a lot.
Well, I know the inventor of whack-a-mole.
What? The person that invented the game?
Invented whack-a-mole.
Wow.
Inventor Aaron Fechter, who we followed, and he's part of, I guess we didn't follow, but he's definitely a big part of our documentary, The Rock-afire Explosion, which tells the rise and fall of Showbiz Pizza, how it was bought out by Chuck E. Cheese. Well, Aaron Fechter started Rock-afire Explosion, started the animatronic rock band, and prior to that, invented whack-a-mole. I know him pretty well. Shout out to you, Aaron Fechter. Great guy and an amazing inventor.
Wait, hang on, Jason. So you're saying that the person that invented Chuck E. Cheese invented whack-a-mole?
No, not Chuck E. Cheese, Showbiz Pizza.
But I mean,
he
so
didn't
Chuck E.
invent
Cheese,
Showbiz Pizza. He invented, to be clear, the animatronic rock band, Rock-afire Explosion. He invented the band.
But then how did that go into Chuck E. Cheese then?
Well, he was an inventor. He invented lots of things. And in the movie, we get into it. He talks about it in the film. He invented it and like either sold the idea or whatever happened, but he's an inventor.
Wow.
And came up with lots of various things over the years, but then really dug in on the Rock-afire Explosion, which was incredible. Check out the doc. It's great. And anyway, just a shout out there to Aaron because I love the reference. And Sal, Amanda then mentions Terry Silver, which puts things in motion. And we learned that, well, of course, we already know. Jessica knows very well of one Terry Silver. And we're getting some flashback footage of how a bad guy he was, which we already know. But we also learn what, Sal? About
Jason, one thing I got to say, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Barnes kind of apologized to Daniellarusso in the furniture store, right? Doesn't Mike Barnes owe an apology to Jessica?
Yeah, for kicking her in the stomach, but he's
How
not
about
seeing
that?
her because he's not in Ohio.
Yes, that's true. He does. He should send her an email then in that case.
Facebook.
Send her a Facebook message. Yeah, Jessica put Amanda in touch with Daniel when Amanda left Ohio to go to Los Angeles. Now, we don't know why Amanda went to Los Angeles specifically, right?
Hollywood, man.
Yeah, it could have been anything. Yeah. But she put them in touch.
Which is shocking to me to know that means that Daniel stayed in touch with Jessica, but he did not stay in touch with Ali or Kumiko. Now
Interesting.
now Jessica wasn't a love interest.
Not a love interest.
So maybe it was like, oh, hey, here's that platonic friend that just disappears from the Karate Kid 3 at the big tournament. But hey, I'll just call her up. And oh, you got a cousin that you want me to meet? Okay. And then the rest is history. But now we know the story. It's amazing.